Members of Hollywood Full Gospel Baptist Cathedral and Joshua Baptist Cathedral, they're very familiar with your ministry. Take a quick moment to acquaint those who are perhaps listening for the first time on there, those who are not as familiar with yourself, a bit of your background and how you came to Long Island. You've been here nearly 50 years, but where is your home? And give us a brief overview of your trek from your home to where you are now.
Well, first of all, I was born in a small hamlet called Sebring, Florida, which is a citron belt. And of course, my father being a minister and my mother, of course, being very supportive of him. My father, of course, had two churches, what is known in old time as a first and third and a second and fourth Sunday. And of course, the family moved to those different locations. And from there, of course, we transitioned to Macon, Georgia, and from Macon, Georgia, went to school to Morris Brown College and had an undergraduate degree there, and then from there transitioned to New York. And of course, in 1959, I was called to Hollywood Baptist Church, which of course now is called Hollywood Baptist Cathedral, and I put in all of my years of ministry there at Hollywood. In addition to that, of course, I came by way of First Baptist Church in Far Rockaway, and as a result of that, I was called to Hollywood Baptist Church, and so now here I am in Amityville, retired. But I often say, not only am I retired, but I'm rehired, because I believe that the Word of God must go forth as long as God gives me breath to carry the Word of God.
Now, Pastor Lewter, in addition to your vocation and your ministry at Hollywood and earlier at First Baptist, you've also been quite active over the years at Pilgrim State Psychiatric Hospital. In what area have you served there?
Well, I've served there for 40 years. I'm considered the senior chaplain there in terms of years, and I have enjoyed it because I believe in reaching out to people who really need to hear a fresh word from the Lord. And so I look forward to that, and I put in 3 days a week, and I'm quite busy, and I'm there on Sundays as well, on the first and third Sunday of each month.
To talk about the book that you wrote last year, and that has been available for several months now, entitled In Times Like These. And in that book, you go over a number of items, and one of the items that you go over is your raising and your rearing in the South. Talk to us a bit about that, and then we have some other questions from the book that we'd like to talk about as well.
All right. Well, one of the things that really interests me is in the process of really growing in the ministry and going to school and getting an education. One of the things that really always is in my mind and in my spirit, I recall after I finished school and I had my degree and I thought that I had it all, and I would take much of my material that I had in college, and I'd put it in my sermon, and I'd be just talking about the different philosophers and talking about Descartes and Hume and all of that. And I would get so excited, I would come home and I would say to my wife, who is now deceased, Ruth Luther Fuller, I would say, honey, how did I do today? And she said, well, now, honey, maybe this is not the best time to really talk about it. Why don't you just wait until about Tuesday when you kind of settle down, you see? And then I'll kind of tell you. I said, no, I'm anxious to know now. How did I do? And she would say, well, all I can say, when you started talking about Descartes and Hume and all of those fellows, I said, well, he's fresh off press now. But when you really get into pastoring, he's going to be able to reach the people in the congregation who have not been exposed to that sort of thing. And somehow I am coming now to the point as I minister, even at Holy Trinity Baptist Church there in Amityville, I'm really reaching out to not only the youth, but I'm reaching out to the elderly as well. And they're excited and I'm excited. And every Sunday, I have opportunity to preach to Holy Trinity Baptist Church.
Thank you so much. Now, Daddy Luther, in your book, you talk about your arrival and your early years of ministry. You also talk specifically about the involvement of yourself in some of the social plight and blight that faced North Amityville. There was an area of North Amityville known as the Block back in the 70s. Talk to us about how you arrested that situation and your own involvement in eradicating the drug epidemic that was facing Long Island back then.
My mind goes back to one Sunday morning. I finished preaching, and the Lord moved in my spirit, and I decided that rather than to give the benediction from the pulpit, I decided to take the church down to the corner of Great Neck and Albany. That area was really a drug area. People were actually afraid to even go there. And I recall there were times when I was called, and the young people were so involved on that corner to the point that we actually had to go to the town of Babylon, and we had to let them know that we wanted to change that corner, and we were able to do that. We converted that from a drug corner to now a corner that is really, really thriving. And one of the things I think that really stands out is that doing that, we have been able to attract people in the community. We've been able to get even and I often refer to Deacon Bowler Mack. The park was even named after him, and I stood with him when he would, when they actually named the park, and he said, "I will always remember Data Lewter because he taught me how to read." And every time I pass there and I see that block, I think about him. But we really were able to bring into being MANA, Ministerial Alliance of North Amityville. One Sunday we went down to that corner and we claimed that corner, and the churches began to follow us there, and to the point that out of that grew the organization of MANA, the Ministerial Alliance of North Amityville. And I'm very pleased to know that that organization has really become a mainstay in the community, and they are doing even greater things. And I want to thank the president, who is doing a marvelous job with all of the church involvements. And we've even brought in even our brothers and sisters from the other churches that never thought in terms of joining us. And we're very pleased with the change that has taken place, to the point that now we have a voice in North Amityville. And not only in Amityville, but we have a voice in the town of Babylon and also in the county of Suffolk. And we have the kind of movement going on now that it really make us feel real good. And I can't help but just say full speed ahead, because we are making a difference.